Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProChargeEV.com. Okay, y'all. Welcome in. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Saints wrap up the 2023 season with a win. They pound the Falcons 48-17. Hopefully all of you were in on the Mike D angle. Try to tell y'all, Saints win and cover. It's a tale as old as time. Team can't explain it, but it's true. Team loses its starting center, fail to cover some 80% of the time the week they lose their starting center. So the Saints win 48-17, but unfortunately they did not get the help they needed. Carolina couldn't help us out. So Tampa won up in Carolina, so they won the division. And then we needed both the Seahawks and Packers to lose, and the Cardinals and Bears couldn't get it done for us. So Saints needed some help, didn't get it, but they beat the Falcons. I will give the Saints credit for coming out in the second half the way they did and just blitzkrieging Atlanta. Wasn't a great start for the Saints. Desmond Ridder, who's woeful, literally had a perfect passer rating in the first half, 158.3. He was 14 of 16 for 230 some odd yards, a couple of touchdowns, and the Saints just couldn't get stops. It was pretty incredible to behold, actually. But the Saints offense really got going, and I thought Kendra Miller ran the ball well, had a really nice day. And Desmond Ridder showed up in the second half. You end up with a couple of interceptions, a fumble recovery, so you win the turnover margin. You convert those into touchdowns, and Saints end up winning 48-17. The drive chart for the Saints in the second half was pretty amazing. If this was the Saints drive chart in the second half. Touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, punt, touchdown. Of course, the punt was when the game was over and they were basically running clock. And the touchdown was at the end of the game after the Tyrann Mathieu interception where he was tackled at the 1, which led to all of the hullabaloo after the game, which I'm sure is what most of you want to talk about. And I do as well. And I am going to... I am certainly going to spend a good amount of time on After Further Review today talking about this, but there's a few different angles to this. So if you weren't watching the game, Tyrann Mathieu late in the game, Saints have the game in the bag. They're up 41-17, it's fourth quarter, it's late. Tyrann gets a pick, and first of all, I don't know what Tyrann was doing. He started coasting, he allowed himself to get caught by an offensive line. That's number one. Well, the Saints go out there, and the game's over, so they put Jameis at quarterback. Well, the Saints line up, and they run a play. They run a play for Jamal Williams, who runs the ball and scores a touchdown. So Jamal Williams gets in the end zone. After the game, for the post-game handshake, Arthur Smith, the coach of the Falcons, is just F-bombing Dennis Allen, undressing him at the midfield handshake, because he didn't like that the Saints scored at the end of the game. First of all, Arthur Smith is soft as Charmin for that. Man, what was so telling to me is how Tiki Barber on the broadcast, Tiki Barber, played a long time in the NFL, basically going, I don't know what Arthur Smith's mad about. It's the NFL, man. Do what you want. You want to score. You got to stop it. So Tiki Barber on the broadcast is saying, Arthur Smith, shut up. I go on to Twitter, and Marcus Spears, Benjamin Watson, this litany of former players are like on Twitter. Guys who played in the NFL are all just like, Arthur Smith, sit down. Like, it's your job to stop it. Get over it. And there's a lot of people who are saying the whole, it was Bush League, I shouldn't say a lot, the segment of fans that are saying it was Bush League, it was unnecessary, there's unwritten rules. First of all, you go tell Marcus Spears and Tiki Barber and Benjamin Watson about unwritten rules and how it's Bush League. Okay, dudes that actually played in the game are doing. By the way, then we find out afterwards that Dennis Allen, they actually were just going to take a knee, and the 11 players on the field were the ones that decided, okay, we're getting our guy a touchdown. So not only are the former players on Twitter saying, go score, but then the other part of it is that the 11 guys on the field said, not doing that. We're getting our guy a touchdown. The 11 guys on the field didn't care about Bush League unwritten rules. They were worried about getting their guy a touchdown. And I see what some of y'all are saying. Oh, they were in victory formation. Don't matter. Stop it. I don't care. I don't care if they had said, hey, guys, we're kneeling right now. Hey, we're going to take a knee. Play the whistle. What are you talking about? That annoyed the bejesus out of me that Arthur Smith was upset. But then I got even more, I got actually livid. If you don't know what we do on Sunday here, game ends, and then I take Drew to the mall. He loves to go ride elevators. So game ends, I take Drew to the mall, and I usually do a post-game immediate reaction video while we're driving to the mall. And at this point, I hadn't heard Dennis Allen's comments, where in his post-game press conference, Dennis Allen apologized for the touchdown and then threw his players under the bus saying that wasn't the call. They did that on their own. And then my annoyance with Arthur Smith became outrage at Dennis Allen for a couple of reasons. Number one, why are you apologizing? What are you apologizing for? Your team went and scored. Okay, that's number one. Like, are you more concerned with Arthur Smith, who's about to get fired, liking you, or having the respect of the players in your locker room? That's number one. Number two, the fact that Dennis Allen told him to take a knee and the backup quarterback in there decided, we ain't doing that, and all the players on the offense agreed and went and ran that play to get Jamal Williams a touchdown, that illustrates an even bigger issue internally, because you have complete and total disobedience from your players. Like, they don't respect you enough to run the play you called. You said take a knee, they're like, we're not going to do that. We're going to go run a touchdown. Eric Bertrand said, Matt, can we expect a rant on AFR today? Based on what you just saw right here, you better believe it. I ain't even getting warm. I'm just getting warmed up. I ain't even started. Oh, man. Thank you. Who just put that? Hold on. Who just put that? Thank you. Thank you. Bayou Flats. But it's okay for a running quarterback to fake like he's running out of bounds so a defender lets up and the quarterback, runner breaks for more yards, often for first down. Bingo. Deception is part of the game. Not worried about. What about Dan Marino? Run up to the line of scrimmage. Like, clock it. He fakes the clock and then throws a touchdown pass. Whose fault is that? I am so annoyed by that whole situation, man. I'm annoyed that Arthur Smith is soft as Charmin. I'm annoyed that Dennis Allen apologized for it, proving how weak he is. I'm annoyed that players don't respect Dennis Allen enough to do what he said. The entirety of the whole situation bothered me. And it's a shame because while the season ended in a manner which we didn't want, the Saints don't make the playoffs. They finished 9-8. They won 4 or 5 down the stretch. They blew out Atlanta 48-17. Not that dissimilar from what they did a year ago, y'all. I mean, if you remember a year ago, the Saints were not looking super great. And they went into January, late December, January, and ended up finishing the season on a 3-game win streak before they lost in Week 18 after they'd been eliminated. Remember, they lost to Tampa in that game where they completely gagged it away. They fell to 4-9 on the season going into their bye, and then they came out, they won 3 straight. They beat Atlanta, they went to Cleveland, won that game when it was like 10 degrees, and they went to Philly and won without Jalen Hurts, but nonetheless. And then they lost 10-7 at home, they finished 7-10. Well, you went from 7-10 to 9-8, although this is the weakest schedule you ever played. You should have been a playoff team this year, and you weren't. But you won 4 or 5 to finish. You blow out Atlanta, which is always fun. And I'm more annoyed by what happened with Dennis Allen in the postgame it was revealed than I am by kicking the holy crap out of Atlanta. Anyway. All right, fire away. Let's say some good mornings. Let me know what you got. Bart St. Germain, Kelly Gross, good morning. Vernell Thomas. Said Dennis Allen needs to be fired because he didn't have his team's back, or because they don't listen to him. Hunter Andrews, how about whole crab legs calling for the final touchdown? No respect for Dennis Allen. I think that's the point most people are going to have. Hey, Dad, good morning. Kirk Taylor, Michael Cook, Ben Giat, what's going on? Honey Badger was done. He didn't want to get tackled from behind and get hurt. I don't know, man. It sure looked like he didn't realize. I would love to know if Tyron was thinking about just going down and run out the clock, or if he's trying to score, or if he ran out of gas, or what. Or if he was just coasting and thought he was in and didn't see the big lineman running behind him. But if Tyron had just gotten that one more yard, that whole situation at the end wouldn't have revealed itself. But I'm almost glad it did. Brian Broom, Kirk Taylor, it's clear Dennis Allen, Pete Carmichael lost the locker room in respect. I don't think they're going to fire him today, but that situation was ugly because I think Mickey Loomis is just as soft as he is. Deborah Coward, Bubba Smith, what's going on? Wes Shin. I hate the Falcons. Wish there was a 20-point play they could have had. With you. There you go, Glenn Formo. It's the NFL, not some park league. Get all the guys, Glenn, seemingly, who played in the NFL, including the 11 guys on the field, all were A-OK with running that play to get their guy a touchdown. But Glenn on Facebook on Monday morning doesn't like it because it's the NFL. Right, Glenn? You have more of a sense of what should be acceptable in the NFL than the 11 guys on the field for the Saints and all the guys who are former players who've gone on social media to basically tell Arthur Smith to stand down, shut up, keep playing. You're right. Glenn's got it. Marcus Spears, Tiki Barber, Benjamin Watson, all the guys in the field. Glenn's got it. Wendell Norman, Brian Wynn, William Moore, Cajun Country. Now can we get excited about LSU baseball? Sure. Let's see, saw a TikTok of Georgia's baseball facility. Let's just say LSU is behind. LSU is not behind in anything in baseball at all. Literally zero. Especially in an NIL world where facilities don't matter as much now as they did, because what guys will care about more is NIL. If you could show them a path to making money, that matters far more than the shiny new facility, which, by the way, LSU's is on par with anything. The Marucci Training Center that they built is incredible. Obviously, the box could use upgrades. It's still a pristine, palatial place. LSU baseball has their own locker room, weight room. LSU's not behind. Trust me, and they're definitely not behind in NIL in baseball. Chris P., Jerry G., Brett Guidry. Saints have to get younger. I'm not sure if DA can lead a rebuild. I agree. But I've been saying it for 2 years, and the Saints don't seem to agree with me. So we'll just keep on plugging through this nightmare where we were perennially watch this team finish right in that 7-9 win range, miss the playoffs, pick in the middle of the draft, never get worse, never get better. Brad David, Juan, morning Matt, what's the status of the OC hire? No idea. Brian Wynn, does the axe fall in New Orleans today? Maybe on Pete Carmichael, but it certainly doesn't seem like Dennis Allen's going anywhere. Matt, who is the corner from Kentucky you've referenced? I don't remember his name, Joel. I'm sorry. He's talking about in the transfer portal. There was a kid from Louisiana who played at Kentucky. He was a defensive back that was one of the first names I heard in the portal. The three names, it was DeCameron Richardson from Mississippi State, Jair Brown from Ohio State, and then there was a kid from Kentucky, and I can't remember his name, so I'm sorry. And I think yesterday I even went and looked up Kentucky's roster and I didn't see the name that I remembered. I can maybe ask and try to find out. But there was a kid from Louisiana on Kentucky's roster. I don't want to waste time, but hang on. Or maybe started his career at Kentucky, then went JUCO or something like that. I don't know. Hang on. Or maybe this guy was from Louisiana who moved somewhere else. It's not David Kid from Parkview, but he's a receiver. That's not it. Sorry. I'm just scanning real quickly to see if I can see it and jog my memory. it might have been a kid who was like from Louisiana and moved somewhere else, like Jared Brown did. Jared Brown was from New Orleans. Yeah, I don't see it. Jared Brown was from New Orleans, and then left and spent 2 years, his final 2 years of high school in Cincinnati, and then went to Ohio State. But anyway, I'll figure out the name, Joel. Text me, remind me, or something like that. Wacky Chris, morning, Matt. Saints season ends on a disappointing note, given how dominant they looked yesterday. The whole season could have looked like that. Could have, and the other part too is, I went back and actually found the episode of AFR the Monday after the loss to Green Bay, and I pointed out then 15 weeks ago. It was week 3, so 15 weeks ago. My immediate reaction was, this is the third year in a row we've seen this, and it's going to cost this team. It's going to cost the team. 2 years ago was the Giants. You had a 2-score lead at home in the fourth quarter against the Giants, and you let Daniel Jones come back and beat you. And then last year was Tampa. You're on the road at Tampa. You're leading by 13 with 2 minutes to play. They hadn't moved the ball at all. Mark Ingram ran out of bounds. We all know what happened. You gag away that game, and you miss playoffs by a game. And then you can look at this year. You led by 17 in the fourth quarter at Green Bay, and you lost 18-17. It's just, whenever you are in this, perpetual state of mediocrity, you're going to look back at the one game that got away and say, that's why we missed the playoffs. And now for 3 straight years, you've missed the playoffs, and you've missed it by one game, and you could look back very clearly at the schedule and point to a game where you had a win and you gagged it away. And the flip side of it is I can't exactly remember something on the flip side where the Saints, I necessarily say, should have lost but managed to steal a win. Now, last year, the season opener against Atlanta, you got outplayed in the first half and you rallied and you won that game. But this year, was there a game this year where the Saints should have lost but rallied and won? Not that I can think of. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. Quick reminder, y'all, Hudco Roofing. Weather's supposed to be awful today. I know like some schools are closing at noon and stuff like that. But remember, if it's commercial or residential, we can help you out. If you got an issue with your roof or know someone who does, maybe it's a coworker, a family member, a friend, neighbor, something like that. Let them know, give us a shout. We got crews ready to roll, and if anybody gets, springs a leak today or something like that, we're ready. We got people ready to roll. So give us a shout. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com, anywhere in the state of Louisiana. We got offices all over the state. So you go to the homepage of the website. At the top, you'll see the phone number for every area code. St. Doug, LV, good morning. Jerry G, Josh, Wacky Chris, DA is a joke for apologizing. Taylor Hudson, seems like Dennis Allen didn't stand up for his players, threw him under the bus. Cameron Shepard, good morning. Hamilton Keener, you said Desmond Ridder had what? Desmond Ridder in the first half had a perfect passer rating, 158.3. 14 of 16 for 231, I think, and 2 touchdowns. I was on Twitter jokingly calling him like Desmond Brady, Desmond Manning. But then right at the start of the second half, Desmond Ridder showed up, threw a pick right to Alontae Taylor, and the whole game changed. Dante Spade, thanks for helping us fire FedEx boy Arthur Smith. Falcons fans are excited about it. Brett Guidry, if Blake Baker can make our defense top 50, that'll take more pressure off of us, especially with a great O-line and deep running back room. Yeah, Brett, I think that's definitely the hope. 1 second, y'all. Here's backpack speaking. I'll be back in 1 minute. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Trivia Carter, good morning. James McKinney. It's funny to see all the Falcons fans here in the live chat who are celebrating getting Arthur Smith fired. All right. Taz, good morning. Said, I understand you, Matt, but the players still went against DA. He lost team. I agree. I mean, I said that as well. I think that's part and parcel with this whole conversation. It's, I was first annoyed by Arthur Smith, then I was outraged at Dennis Allen, and also the fact that not only that he apologized, which is super soft, but also the fact that his players completely disregard. I mean, that was like Rudy at the end of the game. Come on, man, the hell with Devine. As long as the offense is on the field, Rudy can't play. So they throw the trick play at the end. That's what happened. Oh, man. Leon Williams, what's going on? All right, get to some questions here. Yeah, a lot of you are saying Sean Payton wouldn't have apologized. No, Sean Payton would have done the choke signal at his opponent. Sean was savage like that, sometimes to his own detriment. Sean's the guy that, went to Denver and said that the Broncos organization was, a year ago, one of the worst he's ever seen in the NFL. That's Sean. That's your general. Dennis Allen's your lieutenant. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Go be a defensive coordinator. Be a great defensive coordinator. You're just not the one ready to lead the entire thing. You can go lead the defense, but you can't be the one who the buck stops with you. That's Dennis Allen's problem. Eric Bertrand, can we expect a rant on AFR today? All right, hang on. Josh, so what player is going to want to fight for a coach that throws his guys under the bus? By the way, did you see Alvin Kamara's tweet? Did you see Alvin Kamara's tweet? So for those who are talking about, remember, Kamara didn't even play yesterday. Kamara was injured, but Jameis decided to run that play and get Jamal Williams' touchdown. Kamara tweeted, my naysayer, with a heart and the fingers crossed, and tagged Jameis in it. If you're not familiar with my naysayer, there were so Jalen Milroe wore a shirt with LANK on it. And the LANK, Milroe said, is let all naysayers know. Like KNOW, let all naysayers know. Well, they were talking about it on game day, and Pat McAfee was like, hang on. Was like, naysayers, huh? hang on.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
That is not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I thought
you almost lost me again.
So Joey Galloway and
real tight up here as
So Joey Galloway and Desmond Howard, who both are black men, are like laughing their behinds off. They're like, I didn't think so either. Like, so that was so Kamara saying my naysayer is referencing that, basically applauding Winston for getting Jamal Williams a touchdown. I mean, that's one of the funniest parts of let a naysayer know. It's so good. Spurge, what's up? All right, y'all. Let a naysayer know is so good. Charlie Cavell, Rocky Killian, what's up? Reggie Winfield, morning, Matt. You're like a breath of fresh air to listen to. Thank you, Reggie. Thank you for being here. Jim Arsenault, Craig Jackson. Yeah, so 09 Miami is one. Look, Craig, I can go to years past where the Saints snatched a win, right? Maybe a game that they should have. Sometimes those happen in the course of a season. 09 Miami was one of them for sure. Huge rally. But this year there wasn't one. I mean, I can't look at a game that the Saints played this year that I think would counterbalance the bad loss to Green Bay where you led by 17 in the fourth quarter. Mike Dickinson, what do you think we do in round one? Mike, I think they're going to get the best offensive player they can find. If you've got $100 million guaranteed locked up in Derek Carr, you're going to do whatever you can to try to give him whatever assets he needs. Maybe it's a starting tackle if Ramczyk retires. Maybe it's another receiver to partner with Shaheed and Chris Olave. That's what I think they'll do. Josh Carlos, do you think we trade Marshawn Lattimore? Josh, no, I don't. Especially because they just restructured his contract. And remember, we talk about this often, but when you restructure a deal, it financially binds you to a player even longer. It saves you money in the short term and allows you to spread it out over future years. So, for example, Marshawn Lattimore for 2024, so next season, after the restructure, his cap hit is $14.6 million, meaning he will count $14.6 million against the Saints cap next year. If he's not on the team, meaning if they trade him, cut him, whatever, his dead cap number, meaning his cap hit if he's not on the team, is $45 million. So it would cost you $31 million more not to have Lattimore on the team than to have Lattimore. So Marshawn Lattimore is 100% going to be on the team in 2024. Could you off-ramp after that? He's got a dead cap number of $31.6 million after that, and then $18.25. I mean, 2026 seems like the year that you might get out of it. He's got a dead cap hit of $18.2 in 2026, but his cap hit is 28. So that's where the numbers sort of flip, not till 2026. But no, Marshawn Lattimore's not going anywhere. All right, it's 8 o'clock. I got to get going. Please smash the like button, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Scone page, share the post. JB said, any chance Logan Diggs returns to LSU? I don't think so, JB. Like we talked about, Diggs did have a significant knee injury. While it's not been confirmed or reported anywhere, I think it's those three letters that we all worry about. And I think him being in the portal leaves his options open. Is there a place he can go where he can rehab and play and maybe be a bell cow, or does he go pro? I don't know, but I don't think Logan Diggs is back in Baton Rouge. Brett Gidry, how about the Pels? Pels with a 30-point win last night over Sacramento on the road. Freaking phenomenal. Pels are rolling, y'all. Brett DeGrow, Michigan. I do like Michigan tonight as well to win. I will say I'm one of the few that had a Michigan-Washington championship, and I really hate going against Michael Penix because I think he's awesome, and there's something to be said for just finding a way to win. But the thing that can challenge Washington is a pass rush. If you can move Michael Penix off his spot and you can stop the run, then I think you can really give that Washington offense problems, and I think Michigan is equipped to do that. So stylistically, a different game tonight, probably some bully ball from Michigan, and I think it works. So I do think Michigan wins. If you want to play on the game, I like the under in tonight's game. I think it's 58.5 or 56.5, some of that. But I do like the under in the game tonight. So. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Scone page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock and Hudco. If you need an orthopedist, Brock, they are the best. All the subspecialties with locations all over, really, South Louisiana. Brock, with the greater Baton Rouge area, I should say. And, of course, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. You'll be safe with the weather today. If you have any roof issues whatsoever, residential or certainly commercial buildings as well, we can handle any size commercial job. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Peace. I'm out of here.